Welcome to Warrior Bulletin News, your gateway to fast, accurate, and reliable news from around the world. Stay connected with the truth. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you're always one step ahead. The Golden State Warriors. So, let me take you through this step by step because the details matter and you need to hear all of them. The show was deep into a conversation about the NBA off-season when the Warriors came up as a topic. Stephen A. was making an argument that the Warriors need to be aggressive this summer, that the window with Stephen Curry, while still open, is not going to stay open forever. He was talking about the play-in win over the Clippers, about Steph's incredible third-quarter explosion, about Draymond's defensive masterclass on Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter, and about how the team showed it still has the heart and fight to compete. But, Stephen A.'s point was that heart isn't enough. Their Warriors need another star-level talent to pair with Curry if they want to genuinely contend for a championship. And then, he made a bold claim. He said the Warriors were in serious discussions to acquire Denny Avdija from the Portland Trail Blazers. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. Shannon pushed back immediately. He scoffed. He said Stephen A. was manufacturing drama, that Denny Avdija was not the kind of player the Warriors would build around, and that Stephen A. was inflating a marginal player's value to create content. Shannon said something along the lines of, Stephen A., stop it. Denny Avdija, their Warriors need real help. You're just making stuff up at this point. And listen, Shannon was dead wrong about Avdija being a marginal player, but that's beside the point. What matters is what happened next. Stephen A.'s face hardened, his eyes narrowed. Every ounce of casual debate energy left his body and was replaced by cold, focused determination. He looked at Shannon and said, "You want proof? I'll give you proof right now." Then, he reached for his phone on live television. He found a contact. He pressed call. He put the phone on speaker and placed it on the desk. The studio went absolutely silent. The ringing sound filled the room. Shannon's expression went from amused to alarmed in about 1 second. Molly looked like she was calculating how much trouble this was about to cause. And then, someone answered. The voice was casual, familiar, clearly someone who knew Stephen A. well and had zero awareness they were being heard by millions of viewers. After a brief greeting, Stephen A. went directly to the point. He asked, "What's happening with the Warriors and Denny Avdija?" The source talked openly. He said the Warriors had been engaged in conversations with Portland about Avdija and that the discussions had been substantive. He said Golden State's front office viewed Avdija as a perfect systemic fit because of his passing ability, his basketball IQ, and his versatility on both ends of the floor. He mentioned that Steve Kerr had specifically identified Avdija as a player who could thrive in the Warriors' motion offense because of his willingness to move without the ball, his ability to make reads from the high post, and his passing accuracy out of the short roll. The source also noted that Avdija's contract at approximately $13 to $14 million per year was a major factor because it gave the Warriors the flexibility to add him without cutting the rest of the roster. The source went further. He said the Warriors saw Avdija as the evolution of what Draymond Green has been for the system, a versatile playmaker who can operate as a connective piece in the offense, but with significantly more scoring ability. He described Avdija as a Draymond who can score 24 a night, which honestly is a description that should terrify every team in the Western Conference. And then, the moment happened. The source went quiet. There was a beat of silence that felt like an eternity. And then, very carefully, the voice said, Stephen A., please tell me you're not doing what I think you're doing. Nothing from Stephen A. Am I live right now? And the line went dead. The studio exploded. Molly said it should not have happened. Shannon sat there completely frozen, mouth open, unable to form words. And Stephen A., leaning back with that signature grin of absolute satisfaction, said, "That's what I thought." Now, let me break down why everything that source said about the Warriors and Denny Avdia makes absolute basketball sense, because the fit is genuinely remarkable. First, let me update you on who Denny Avdia actually is right now in 2026, because Shannon's reaction showed that not everyone has been tracking his transformation. Avdia is an all-star this season. He averaged approximately 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. He dropped 41 points and 12 assists in a play-in game. He's become one of the most complete two-way players in the NBA, functioning as a point forward who can run an entire offense from the wing. He is not the player he was when Washington drafted him. He has evolved into a legitimate star on a contract that pays him like a role player. Now, think about what that means for the Warriors. Start with the offensive fit. Their Warriors' motion offense is the most beautiful system in basketball. It's built on constant movement, screening, cutting, and ball movement. The players who thrive in the system are the ones who have high basketball IQ, who can make reads, who can pass accurately, and who understand how their movement creates opportunities for their teammates. Denny Avdia is all of those things at an elite level. His passing is exceptional. He can operate from the high post and find cutters for easy baskets, exactly like Draymond Green has done during the dynasty years. But unlike Draymond, Avdia can also score at an all-star level. He can pull up from 3. He can attack off the dribble. He can score in the mid-range. He can finish at the rim. So, when defenses try to help off of him to stop Curry, they get punished because Avdia will score. And when they focus on stopping Avdia, Curry is operating in space, which is a death sentence for any defense in the league. The source's comparison of Avdia to Draymond, who can score 24 a night, is genuinely perfect. During the dynasty years, their Warriors' offense was at its most dangerous when Draymond operated as the fulcrum, the player who made all the right reads, found the open man, and kept the ball moving. But Draymond's inability to score consistently was always a limitation that defenses could exploit. They could help off Draymond to double Curry because Draymond couldn't make them pay offensively. With Avdia, that strategy is no longer viable. He scores enough to demand defensive attention, which opens up Curry even more. And when Curry draws the defense's attention, Avdia's passing creates opportunities for everyone else. The symbiotic relationship between the two would be extraordinary. We just watched the Warriors beat the Clippers in the play-in game. We saw Steph go for a vintage third-quarter explosion. We saw Draymond put the clamps on Kawhi Leonard. We saw Brandon Podziemski make the 50-50 plays. We saw GP2 create havoc defensively. The heart is there. The fight is there. What's missing is the talent level needed to sustain that over a full playoff run. Adding Denny Avdia bridges that gap. He gives the Warriors a legitimate second star, a player who can create his own shot, run the offense when Curry sits, and defend at a high level. That changes the Warriors from a team that has to fight just to get into the playoffs to a team that can genuinely threaten to come out of the Western Conference. Think about the closing lineups. Curry, Avdia, Draymond, and whatever wings you fill in around them. The passing, the basketball IQ, the defensive versatility, the offensive creativity in that group would be extraordinary. Avdia can handle the ball, so you can run actions through him and Curry simultaneously, keeping defenses guessing about who's the primary playmaker on any given possession. That kind of flexibility is what made the Dynasty Warriors so devastating. And Avdia gives them that element again. and the contract, 13 to 14 million per year for an all-star. In today's NBA, where max contracts push past 50 million annually, having a player of Dia's caliber at that price is an absurd value proposition. It means the Warriors can add him without having to gut the roster. They can keep their other key players while adding a 25-year-old all-star who fits the system perfectly. The financial flexibility that Dia's contract provides is arguably as valuable as his on-court production. The source mentioned that Steve Kerr specifically identified Dia as a system fit. That detail matters enormously. When a coach of Kerr's caliber personally identifies a player, it means the coaching staff has done their homework. They've watched the film. They've studied how Dia's skills translate to their system, and they've concluded that he would thrive in Golden State. That kind of endorsement from the coaching staff tells the front office everything they need to know about the acquisition's potential impact. For the Warriors' future, Dia also serves as a bridge between eras. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the dynasty core are in the later stages of their careers. Their Warriors need to start building the foundation for what comes next while still competing now. Dia at 25 is young enough to be the centerpiece of the next generation of Warriors basketball. He can learn from Curry, absorb the championship mentality, and eventually assume the role of franchise player when the current core transitions to reduced roles or retirement. After that incredible play-in win over the Clippers, after watching Steph and Draymond show they still have championship-level fight, their Warriors owe it to themselves to maximize whatever time this core has left. Acquiring Dia would be the strongest possible signal that the organization is serious about competing, not just surviving, but genuinely contending for another championship. The way this information came out today, through that wild unprecedented phone call, tells me the Warriors are dead serious about making this happen. The source is casual confirmation, the level of specificity about the fit, the mention of Kerr's personal involvement, all of it points to discussions that are further along than anyone previously knew. Dub Nation, what do you think? Is Dia the piece that puts the Warriors back in championship contention? Would you trade the assets necessary to get him? Let me know in the comments, because this could be the biggest move of the off-season, and I want to hear every take. That's going to do it for today. Hit the like button, drop your thoughts, subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourselves, your families, and each other. Let's go Dubs.